Welcome back to American Judge TV. What happens when the law says no, but common sense says maybe? In Judge Raquel West's courtroom, one man's freedom comes down to just 574 feet, and a single decision could change everything. Stick around, because this case will make you question how justice really works. And hey, if you love real courtroom moments like this, hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what Judge West does next.
Good morning, you're Adam Moe. Okay, so we're here because Mr. Moe is on probation.
Yes.
I did a different type thing where Mr. Moe went and did some time on some of his cases in prison, got out and is now on probation. Apparently, there are some potential issues with regard to where he's living that weren't issues with parole, but are issues with probation. Is that correct?
It sounds like they may be issues with probation.
Okay.
That's kind of why our original emergency motion had a strange title, because we didn't know what else to call this.
Sure.
Other than in an effort to make sure that he is doing everything correctly. I think our mission on that was, let's get in front of the court and make sure this is being done correctly.
So what's the issue, potentially?
Adam's parents, Jody and Chris Moe, who the court may remember, and they're present again today, while Adam was incarcerated, went to a number of links with the folks from Parole to make sure that any home that Adam was going to live in upon his release and beginning the out of prison portion of probation and parole, because he's on parole too.
Correct.
That their home where he was going to live was in compliance.
Right. Parole's approved it.
Parole has approved it.
So where are we?
If the court doesn't mind, I'd rather not say the address.
No, I don't need that. I just need to know what the issue is with probation.
The issue is we are at 574 feet.
574 feet. That's the magic number. The law says he must live at least 1,000 feet away from where kids gather, and he's nearly half that distance from a church playground. A few hundred feet could be the difference between freedom and going back behind bars.
From a church that has a playground attached to it, and I don't want to speak for probation at all, but condition, I think it's 33, it isn't vague, but it's neither inclusive nor exhaustive. So I don't know exactly what the conversation was that probation had with Adam the day that he reported immediately upon his release from prison a couple weeks ago. And I don't believe that the conversation was, hey, you can't live there. It was, this is kind of an issue. So our position is a lot of effort was made.
So what's the issue?
Excuse me. So his condition number 33 says that he's not to be within 1,000 feet of places where children commonly gather.
Right.
So it's not limited to that list. And so I believe it's the 574 feet from the church with the playground attached is the issue.
Okay. I'm looking at the order now. Mr. Hoffpower, any strong feelings one way or the other?
Judge, we'll leave it to the discretion of the court. I understand what probation is worried about.
Sure.
Set them up to fail. I do understand that's unique with parole and probation, two different entities, but
Well, and the
I don't want to
offenses
violate.
were...
And now we learn why the restriction matters. Adam's original offense, possession of child pornography. No direct contact crimes, but it's enough to make every inch of proximity to a child-related place a legal risk. The atmosphere just shifted. You can almost feel everyone in the courtroom holding their breath.
Possession of child pornography.
correct.
There weren't any allegations of
There were 10,
assaults or anything like
Correct.
that? Okay.
just 10 charges of possession. And 5, we put 5, got penitentiary and 5 with probation.
Right. Is there a GPS at this point?
No,
He hasn't had his initial, actually, the assignment is tomorrow. He just did intake correct me if I'm wrong, he just didn't.
No, and I appreciate being proactive, and that is good. We don't want to be in here the first month because there's a violation, which technically that would be a violation. There's no doubt that it's not vague. That would for sure be a
No,
violation.
in my reading too, on the geography of this thing, Judge, is that if Adam were to make, I'm going to call it a left turn if I've got the map correct in my head, if he were even to turn incorrectly down the main street where this house is, that would be a parole violation. So our position is that parole's assessment here, and I know the numbers are what they are, but that it covers both issues. So it's not like there's some kind of leeway to go even closer to that facility. He isn't going that way. He cannot, or he's in violation of what's been set up for him.
Judge, Ms. Roach says if he lived there, he'd be sentenced to his grandfather.
He's not, though. They specifically moved to
Okay,
thank you, though.
yes.
Ms. Roach is watching to make sure, because if you were living somewhere already, there's kind of a grandfathered in, but they specifically moved to try to make it better. And
This one.
okay. Well, here's what I'll do. I will.
Judge West steps in with calm authority. She's not here to punish twice. She's here to make sure the law is followed fairly. Watch how she crafts a middle ground, not throwing the book at him, but not letting him slip through the cracks either.
Allow a modification of number 33. But I want it to somehow, some type of addendum or attachment that's very specific, because this isn't going to be a exception for all, only for this specific. So I will need probably the address of that church, so that in the orders, it says that you can be within 574 feet of that specific place. 33 stays the same for everywhere else. So it can be 33 can read like it does, and then you can add with the exception of that one place. Also, at least for, I would say, 6 months or so, or depending on how probation feels once he gets going, and if he's following all the rules and treatment and things like that with the LSOTP and all of that stuff.
The solution? Modify the rules slightly, but add a GPS tracker for 6 months. It's accountability in real time, a way to test if Adam can actually walk the straight line. It's firm, smart, and cautious. Classic Judge West.
Then I want a GPS monitoring device on at least for a minimum of 6 months to make sure that the rules are being followed, that he's going the right way, and there's not any issues. And that way, once we're all more comfortable with how things are going now that he's out of prison, then I'm okay with getting rid of that once you're okay with that, if he's following through with treatment and everything like that. Make sense? Okay.
Just one point there. I think there's not a school.
It's not the school issue, it's just the church.
The church. Yeah, the church with the, so I want that, that's the only exception, and the exception is the 574. So like you said, turn the other way, don't get any closer than what you're saying. That way there won't be an issue with it being any closer than what you're saying at any times that it would show up on that GPS. Make sense?
And that's a wrap. The takeaway? Justice isn't always my last action. Sometimes it's about balance, control, and trust. Judge Raquel West just showed exactly how that looks in action.
Okay?
Yes.
All right, thanks. Y'all are free to go. Mr. Chase, I'm tested negative for everything, so that's good. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I need your signature, though. All right, ma'am, you're Renisha Chason. And will she waive the formal reading of the indictment?
She will, Your Honor.
And again, we're just going to get a plea on the new indictment, reset the MTRP case, and come back and see where we are with the pre-sentence report. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That goes with that also.
Judge, just to refresh the court's recollection, the co-defendant in this case, who is in my opinion, much more culpable defendant has already pled to TDC time.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Chason, in cause number 24, DCCR 2351, you're charged with the second-degree felony offense of injury to a child, and that's from July 19th of 2024. And how do you plead to that charge? I'm sorry? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you did what they've charged you with? I have here on the tablet some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Burbank? And do you fully understand them? And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney, that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal? So if I follow the agreement, you can't change your mind later. Do you understand? And it looks like the agreement that you've made is for a 5-year deferred adjudicated probation. There would be a $500 fine, and you would be required to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. Is that your understanding? Also, do you understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? State tenders number 1.
No objection, states 1.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Ms. Chason's not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily, find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of your plea, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I'm going to reset your case so that the probation department can do a pre-sentence report. And if that can include an update also on the probation case where the motion's filed, so I can have all that information as well, and then we will come back at a later date for sentencing. You need to stop and talk to probation on your way out of the courtroom today, and she's sitting at that desk right over there. All right, we'll see y'all back at sentencing.
Would the court consider allowing her to remove the drug patch? It's costing some money that she doesn't have.
Not until sentencing. We're going to keep it on until sentencing. Make sure you keep it on and keep it updated, and then if everything goes well,
When do I come in?
it's about 5 or 6 weeks. Okay?
Maybe excuse me.
Yes, thank you.